The journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with a step. For Pacesetters Christian Assembly, this 1,000 miles journey began 9 years ago, precisely the 7th of February 2010. While waiting on the Lord in a 21-day prayer and fasting session in January 2009, God told his servant, Bishop Joseph Ebhohimen, that he would return to Port Harcourt in a different way.
I was outside the country in Kenya, Nairobi particularly, during the 21 days fasting of the former ministry. And that 22nd of January, God told me, you will return to Port Harcourt in a different way. I had been to Port Harcourt before as a resident pastor, but he said I will return in a different way. November that year, while in Benin, November 6th precisely, God gave me the name, Pacesetters Christian Assembly. And to show that it was genuine, the lawyer told me the name may crash on a CAC office. I said, no. If God gives you a name, it can't crash. And when they go there, only first attempt. Some people, they go there with name, they cancel it and begin to adjust it. Pacesetters Christian Assembly was not adjusted. The way I sent the name, that's why it was approved. So as at that 2010, when the ministry was registered, no other ministry was bearing Pacesetters Christian Assembly, so we couldn't adjust the name. And it was when I started the ministry that God showed me that it's 28 letters. So the ministry actually started in a house of a pastoral assistant in Benin, in an urge to start urgently. We did a fellowship on the 1st of January 2010 in Benin.
He moved to Port Harcourt and held a prayer session in a place called Bishop's House before the start of the church.
We were in Benin when he told me that God called him to start and told me the name of Pacesetters. And since I know he is not a man that will wake up and say, thus says the Lord, when he told me, I took it with good faith. We started in a humble beginning, and thank God he has helped us. This is where we are today. I give glory to God for the strength and the grace and the boldness to come out.
February 7th, Sunday, is the first Sunday service of Pacesetters Christian Assembly. We had the LA Kings, Port Harcourt.
February when he came to town, 2010. Yes. So we had the first meeting at Bishop's house in D-Line. Bishop's house in D-Line. Then I was usher, I was PA, I was so many capacities because we're just starting. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a blessed time as well.
If they say, do you believe in the man? Well, I don't know. It depends on the individual. But me, I would say that I believe in him. Why? No chair, no office, no block, no house. You understand? Yes. But I believe in him. I knew God has called him, and that is the truth. I believe in him.
Since the ministry started, there have been many confirmations regarding the call and the assignments that God has placed in the hands of God's servants. For instance, before the start of the church, God's servant, Bishop Joseph Ebhohimen, served his father in the Lord, Bishop David Oyedepo, for 28 years.
Mysteriously, we didn't even know. That first meeting were 28 people. After I started the ministry, May 2010, yes. God showed me, I was in the, I said, have I ever thought about it? I should count the letters. I counted Pacesetters in Christian Assembly, 28. It was there, you work 28 years in Winners. I'm sending you on the 28 letter ministry so you can remember your base and starting point.
To God alone be the glory. In these 9 years, God has been so faithful to us as a church. In speaking with God's servant in the course of the week, he shares with us about some of the things that God has helped us to do as a church. God's servant received a mandate to equip and empower people with knowledge to excel in life through the Pacesetters Bible Institute.
Learning is of God. Knowledge gives power. And whoever is hungry for learning, will go far in life. However you teach in a church, there are some things you cannot teach in church. Every year we do training now, February April, August. But last year, August 2018, we had the first maiden diploma edition. 18 students were there and they did good and they were happy.
He is also known as a father in the land. One of his major ministry assignments is in playing a mentorship and fatherly role in the lives of younger ministers of the gospel. He does that through the Excel Ministers meetings.
He told me, you will mentor other ministers who seem to be fatherless in the town. And I'm sending you to Port Harcourt to be a father to many pastors. The first meeting was 83. People in that town. Ever since, it has grown. We have had over 1,000 people attended the meeting, and people are becoming, they had to start ministering, had to get place of worship, land, school. Many people have learned so many things and have dedicated many ministries of younger people, dedicating their property, dedicating their school, dedicating their place of worship, and maybe their land. They're happy.
One of the major stamps of the ministry of his servant is the blessing of the fruit of the womb.
God has helped me in the area of fruitfulness. As a help, people are looking for the fruit of the womb, and they told me, we use the ridiculous to get the miraculous. That without struggling, communion, anointing, only simple ordinances, just drink it and you get it. And as a trainer, we have over 240 children born in 9 years. A lady came here from non-Pentecostal church. Somebody asked her to come. She came and took 4 cups of the communion on my wife's birthday. And she got 4 children. She went and gave 1 month vow of salary to God, and he took in for under IVF and 4 children. And daughter said, your womb is so narrow, you can't carry for a round to me. I said, no, God can't give you 4. And daughter said, your womb is so small. Anyway, you want to deliver, go and deliver. I pray for her. She went to the US to deliver and got visa, everything. The children were dedicated here. Even 6 months after they still came. They are not in Lagos, they are still very fine. They were born 2012.
I was looking for a fruit of the womb, and the sister invited me to come. I have done so many things I could do on my own. I've visited every good hospitals. I've had 2 IVF. They all failed me. I've took so many things. So when all these things failed, I knew it is only God that will do it for me.
That was one of the reasons that brought us here, because we had heard testimonies of how women conceived after the Holy Communion for complicated matters, and that was one of the reasons why we came. Like she said, the first time she took that communion, she got pregnant, but after I think about 4 weeks or thereabout, we lost it. And ever since then, we've been faithful, taking the communion. But one thing happened. Bishop came up with another formula, which was unheard of.
Last year, that Bishop said people waiting for fruit of the womb should wait. We all waited, and he gave us a quotation to write, 500 each. I didn't start on time. In the morning, I sent my daughter to go and buy exercise book for me, and that day on Friday I did not go anywhere. I did not do anything. I started my own. So now I finished it and came to church on Sunday, submitted it. That same month, I conceived.
It was difficult, but you know, when you are lost in service, there's always a tendency for you to forget what you're going through, and I guess that was our story. While serving God, faithfully serving God, it didn't really seem as if it was an issue, even though it was. But God did it in His time.
My encouragement to every one of you is that you serve God faithfully, always be happy, don't be moody. He will do it at His time. He cannot fail, He's God. Any prophecy that Bishop mentioned on this altar, make sure you abide. Don't ever ask questions, do it. He's able, He will do it.
The ministry has also been marked by transformed lives and all-round elevation.
Once there's no progress, I won't be happy. If a person came 2010 and he's still where he was now financially, I won't be happy. He's just spiritual, I won't be happy. Myself that is here 9 years after, I'm not the same. So many things I've learned, I've grown, I've matured, my faith can carry me. I was a bachelor, I was like the Canadian now, he came as a bachelor. Married here, has children, has house, has car.
When I started, then we used to have this a small car then. One day I was not driving, I said, I heard that voice, I should, sold the car to the church. I went straight to him, then his office was in Cocaine Village. So a few months after, I got a call from a senior colleague. So we were given a contract to supervise for the Ministry of Education, Rivers State. From there, a lot of things started happening, a whole lot. So my experience has been wonderful. God's so kind. I think I'm the second person to wed in this church in PCA. By God's grace, we have 3 kids. After giving that car up for God as a seed, between that period and now, we've had about 4 cars. So it's really wonderful. And by God's grace, I think just a few years after, I didn't spend so much time in a rented apartment, I must say. I think just 3-4 years before I got my own house. All within a few years. I think it's been wonderful.
Personally, I can trace some very unique testimonies to my coming here. Yeah, there's the occasion of one time I had to go drop the bishop in Benin with mommy, and we had bidded for houses in my office. The office, they wanted to give out some estates, sell out some houses in the estate. So with the first bid, there was some irregularities with it, so they cancelled that one. The second one, they did. Before they did the selection, was the day the bishop asked me to drop them in Benin. So while we were together, the bidding was going on. As we entered Benin, my phone rang that I had won a house in Lagos. It's obvious, very obvious that it was by the grace of God upon the bishop's life that came to be. So many other testimonies.
I came with 1 car, okay? But God gave me 2 more, okay? Making it 3. A lot of things. There was no roof, okay? But I got a roof. Forget about whatever is a roof over me, I got it. It's there. I'm not renting. I'm not living in a rented apartment. You understand? What will I tell you? By then, my children, they were not even graduates, but 4 of them, they're all graduates. And out of the 4, 3 are married, and they are doing well. I'm a grandfather, proud grandfather of 6 children, 6 grandchildren. You understand? Yes. Bishop, will they just look at my proposal and just put hand like this, 3-4 million to something, and as I tender it, Bakam, it happens.
When we look back, there's just so many things to be grateful for. Because 9 is the number of fruitfulness, we believe it's a season of all-round fruitfulness and completeness for every member of Pacesetters Christian Assembly and everyone connected to this commission.
Pacesetters family, I would say, hold on to the faith of God. Look upon Jesus. Don't look on any mortal human being. The mortal human being you are looking upon, has flesh and blood operating in him or her. There is tendency for failure. But when you look unto Jesus Christ, If it's your reason of coming here, you will not miss your way.
On the 9th anniversary is for us to stick together as a family, keep God as our focus, and work selflessly in this place, in every unit where we have located ourselves, to work selflessly in this place and keep the hand of God's servant up, as those two men did for Moses. Yeah. Why? Because there are still so many grounds to break. There are still so many hills to be conquered. And we all know that we still have a lot of things that we desire and we pray for this place. The same God doing it in other places is here as well.
I want to say to you, as the church is celebrating their 9th year anniversary, 9 is for fruitfulness. You will be fruitful all around in the name of Jesus. You will regret coming to this place in the name of Jesus. Serve God with all your heart. Whatever problem you are having now is in a corner, and nobody stay in the corner forever. You are going to pass through those problems and go higher and higher and higher, and your testimony will keep on increasing in Jesus' name.
Hallelujah, eh? Hallelujah, oh.